and welcome everyone. We continue our work on suitable testing library for Scheme. Today we will try to modify test runner and instead of running test cases to schedule them for run, and after all test cases are scheduled to actually start running them. And why we do so? First of all, it will give us a flexibility on the running order. For example, we can shuffle test cases to make sure that they don't depend on each other and the order of execution doesn't matter. Also, we can make another very important property for test runner: the ability to re-execute failed tests. For example, we scheduled a lot of test cases, some of them failed, we recorded which one of test cases failed, and after that we can rerun only failed tests. Moreover, ideally, we can implement another functionality which reduces the feedback loop. And I came up with this idea just an hour ago, but it seems so obvious. We can make a functionality for IDE which reruns failed tests after every evaluation. If our tests written in a functional way, they don't have side effects and don't depend on the order and so on, at least to some degree. First of all, we can run them independently. Second, they probably can be executed in a fraction of a second. So we can enable rerun of failed tests on every evaluation, and it will allow to do test-driven development in a very convenient way with incredibly fast feedback loop. So we wrote a test, we executed it, it failed, and after that we say that after every evaluation we restart all failed tests. And now we just working on our code, evaluate, see the intermediate results, and after every evaluate we see if our test became green or they still red. And if they became green, we write more red tests. And repeat the cycle and do test-driven development for free with very interactive experience and very fast feedback loop. I'm Tropin. I work on operating systems and programming languages and do a lot of free and open source software as well. Now, you have an opportunity to watch me staring at my screen for an hour or so, and maybe reading some documentation, and if you're lucky enough, writing a few lines of code. So overall task is to make our test runner, instead of executing tests, to schedule them for execution. That's basically it. The rest will be just exploration and trial and error approach. Okay, I have this chat and IRC opened, so you can put some comments and ask questions. I hope the sound works well. Let me check. Put some comments and ask questions. The sound works well. The network seems okay. Hope you will be enjoying watching me staring at this code. But before doing all that stuff, let's just warm up our fingers. Yoo-hoo! My personal record. Easy peasy. Okay, let's first rename. Do we want to actually rename it, or we keep it the same? If you don't remember, I will remind you, we have the following hierarchy. We have test suites. Test suites can contain test cases or another nested test suites. And test cases can have asserts. If we have assert on its own, it will be automatically wrapped into test case. So we are ensuring this hierarchy. Also, we can't nest test suites into test cases. That means that our test suites actually allows us to produce a tree, and on the leaves of this tree we will have test cases which will contain also some subleaves which are asserts. And what we will be restarting actually test cases. That means that we have like a separate unit of operation, which makes some sense now, because I inherited this hierarchy from JUnit format, and because I didn't quite like the excessive flexibility of closure tests, because the closure tests have a notion of test and assert, and the tests are just functions which you can nest into each other, which probably don't allow you to do the tricks that I want to achieve today. Because test suites can be evaluated to produce chunks of test cases that we will be able to execute later, which is very good, which is really good, because we delay the execution of the tests, and that means that we can like modify the order of execution, we can run them in parallel, rerun them and do whatever we want, or run them multiple times. That's very good. That's very nice. And I guess it was a right decision to separate test suites and test cases. Okay. Anyway, let's do it. Let's do it in a very straightforward way. Our state, atomic box ref state, test runner update atomic list value. So now, instead of let's not rename anything. Oh, actually, let's commit everything that we have. It mostly to do and white spaces, all that stuff. I guess we can remove it. Doc string here. Suitable. Add comments and to-dos. Nice. The other thing I would like to do today probably is to move out test runners to separate model, because test runner is already quite huge. However, our macros for asserts, test cases, and suits are too dependent on test runners. Okay, let's separate them later, I guess. And let's keep the naming for now. But later we will need to rename it. Run test case. Actually, it should be test case run. The same way as test case start and test case end. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, let's keep it for now. To do, rename it to schedule test case run. Like this, and here we have a test case sunk, which is good. And now let's construct a list which contains, or maybe even a pair, cons test case sunk, and maybe some information about test case. What we have: test case description. Let's call it description, and it will be description which we will obtain from here, like this description, right? Test case. Also, we will have test pass. Test pass. Okay, it's a private, kind of private variable, like this. And now we got our cons which is case, test case what? It's not exactly sunk, test case item. Not sure if it's a very good name, but it's okay. We need to use let asterisk so we can reference description inside next definition. Okay, now instead of running test case, we will modify our state of test runner like this. Lambda profile simple profile. To keep the functionality here, I will add simple profile into sunk, which test sunk, which I will use later. Okay, now we have events and test cases, right? And test cases will be list and test case item, like this. Okay, we re-evaluated our namespace, our model. Now let's run all the tests, all tests. And you can see now we have a hierarchy, but instead of running asserts and do all that stuff, we just save it into the list. And let's take a test runner. Let's do, you know what, I want to define a simple macro, which is very useful in my opinion, which called comment macro. Define syntax comment, it will accept lambda stakes and will return nothing. Can I do this? I can't. Bad lambda, very bad lambda. What can I return? I need to return some syntax, some empty list comment. Define comment, define syntax. Probably I already had it somewhere. Scheme. The easiest solution will be just return a simple string. And now comment nothing, comment something will work and will be evaluated to the string. However, it can be more elegant, but whatever, it will work for me. The macro which ignores all the form and returns a string. Okay, why I need it? I will show you why I need it. Where are all tests? Okay, I want to rerun tests, but for this I will use comment all tests, and now when I evaluate nothing happens, but when I do so the tests are executed. Now I also need I also need to parameterize test runner, current test runner. Define test runner. Default get test runner like this. Test runner parameterize true, and now I can access test runner state. So I call test runner with what? With message, and this message says type get state. Sounds good. Ooh. Okay, let's do atomic box ref like this, and also a sock ref. Let's actually use not quant, how it called, I need surfy, go to model surfy 197 chain. It will be chain test runner like this, and here I will do atomic box ref for chain. After that, a sock ref for chain test cases, right? Okay, now we have functions, we have description, and we have test path, which is good, very manageable. The only thing that we don't have description. Why we don't have description? Let's see how our test case macro looks. Test case macro description, test case start, test case. Okay, test case sunk, and test case like just description case description like this. Let's reval it. Let's go here, create new test runner, run all the tests, and see how it looks. Description still false. Did I misspelled something? Description, a sock ref description test case sum. Description, case description. It looks right to me. Okay. Let's just print what we have here. pkx all tests. Anonymous, very true test case. Looks right. Am I doing something wrong? Description. Copy pasting here. It looks exactly the same. Okay, maybe I didn't reevaluate the code. New test runner defined. Okay. Yep, I probably forgot to reevaluate something. Very true test case. Test suite nested in test case is forbidden. Blah blah blah. Good. Oh, somebody joined, I guess. Welcome here. Welcome. Now, we need to decide where to actually start running our scheduled test cases. First idea is that we have two different usages of our test runner. First one is implicit, where we have our default test runner or current test runner set to some value already, and after that we just evaluate a simple assertion or test case, and it probably requires an immediate execution of it. And the other option, to have a special method inside our test runner which will execute scheduled tests. Run asserts and run scheduled test cases like this, and it should be quite simple. We just do atomic box ref state chain sock ref test cases, and we map, or even for each lambda test case and we just execute a sock ref t. Oh, it's actually just car of t, right? Because we save a function and a list with meta information for it. So we just execute it for each run schedule test cases. Let's wrap it into begin so we can evaluate all at once. Sock ref test cases, very good. Now we call test runner with type run scheduled test cases, and let's eval it. Whoa, it executed. And we re-executed it. Very good. Very cool. So we basically achieved what we wanted. Now we can shuffle them and run them in random order, or we can run them in parallel in different threads, or do whatever we want. So I am glad how it turned out, how we designed our original API, and test suites allows to build a structure, a hierarchy that we can save in meta information during the execution of functions, of procedures that we call test suites. We build the structure, and after we build a structure, we have just a plain list of test cases. And after that, we decide if we run it in the same hierarchy, or we run them in random order, or we run them in parallel, or whatever. Now we have a missing functionality. The missing functionality is following. We have our comment. Inside our comment we have a test case, hello, and here we have what? We have assert. And if we run either assert or test case, we see the debug print here. Do we have extra any other extra prints? No. Test case. I'm trying to understand why it prints the state of test runner. I didn't ask him. Events, run test case, test cases. Get test runner. Maybe I need to do get test runner default get test runner like this. No, it still prints white prints. Why? Oh, it actually doesn't print, it probably returns. Okay, I understood. Update atomic list value. It returns this one. And here, if I do a different return value for this method, and let's reval everything, and let's try our sort. You see it returns schedule test case scheduled. Now it's of course cool, but I do want it to be immediately executed. For this we need to adjust test case macro, which will do the very simple trick: get current test runner, run test case. Of course it should be not run test case but schedule test case, but not a big deal. We will add another message here. Get current test runner, type run scheduled test cases, like this. But we run it only if our test path is empty, like this. The empty test path means that we are not inside any test suites. That means that we can immediately run our test cases. Great. Let's check it out. Test case scheduled. One more time. Wrong type argument F. How it happened? How the test path became F? Not a big deal, but really curious. Let's make it like this. Let's try again. Wrong type argument F. Probably it was not a problem here. Get current test runner, type run scheduled test cases. Something wrong with is, I guess. Let's check that this code works. Let's go back to our test case. Okay, where is get executed? Something bad happens. Let's see. Run assert sunk loaded form, get current test runner. So far looks good to me. Have no issues with it. Okay, run assert. Let's print x when we come to assert. And let's I expanded test case. Okay, let's figure out what happens with run assert. Assert sunk is a program. Assert quoted form true. Sounds good, right? Right. Let's go further. We extracted this one and this one. Let's move print here to make sure that assert sunk. Oh, let's just go to default run assert. pk form sunk. Oh, quoted form is no wrong type to apply, unspecified. Whoa. Okay, this one probably cause of order of evaluation. Maybe this current test runner. Okay. let's wrap it into what? Into some debugging context. With exception handler, lambda exception, lambda exception, non-continuable, not very useful, but here we can do make stack display backtrace. Stack port. Stack current output port. Can we do it? For each. Okay, the problem I see here that the problem somewhere in for each, which means I screwed up somewhere here, right? Can I do like this? Okay, we got F. So we are not scheduled any test cases. How it happened? Okay, that's good. Let's print test case item. Program description test pass. Okay. Sounds good so far. Oh, what if the life cycle of the test runner is kinda broken here? Let's see. Okay, let's see. PK. Okay. PK state. Yep. I'm sure that this is a problem with the life cycle of test runner. I guess I don't need to explore it further, because we can see we have events and test cases, but if we put the same print to run scheduled test cases, it will be empty. You see, atomic box is empty. This is because get current test runner actually creates two separate test runners. And to prevent this, we do this trick. And I wanted to do it earlier. But I didn't. But not a big deal. Now we have it. It executed. And it works fine. Do we have, okay, PK. Let's reval. Wait, we forgot. Okay. Good. Okay, we solved the mystery. Now let's clean it up. First of all, let's rename we also need test suite. First of all, we need the same test runner here to avoid the similar issues in the future. Test runner. Because get current test runner is not get, it's get or create. Probably we need to mark it. Okay, anyway, get current test runner. The oops. To get or create. Now we need what? We need to make test suite in addition to this. Let's do the following. Test suite enter, test suite leave. Why this is important? Because test suites are not running and not starting anything. They collecting the test cases and put them on some hierarchy, right? This is why they are not running or starting, but entering and leaving. Test suite enter, test suite leave. Now let's rename test suite enter, test suite leave, suite entered, and left. Hope this one is correct. And now if I do all tests, you see the message now makes sense. Let's remove unnecessary new line. Change test suite events to start and enter, to enter and leave. Test suits are not starting or ending here, but they collect test cases for further execution. Right? This is pretty good semantics, I guess. It will require a bit of elaboration, but should be really nice. Really nice one. Now let's actually run test cases. From test suites. Here we have test suite, blah blah blah, enter expression, blah blah blah, and after we left when null of test pass, what we do? We run scheduled cases. Run scheduled test cases like this. Oops. One more time. Let's make sure everything okay. Okay. Test suite. Parameterize test pass. It should be outside of parameterize, right? Const suite description like this. Probably I moved it outside of let. No. Test pass let. No, we are inside let. Let's pk test pass. And okay, for now let's just pk test pass. Suite left all tests and we're here. Yep, and that's basically where I would like to run scheduled test cases. Let's see what we have in our test runner. Test runner type get state atomic box description all tests type test suite enter description all tests. Huh. That's interesting. Where our test cases? Oh, okay. There's one more thing that we need. We need to parameterize current test runner to tr and to do the same thing here. Oops. Test runner like this. Pam pam. Okay, this is too much unnecessary information for us. Let's see if it works now. Yay! We are able to run tests now. Cool. Let's rename it to test runner. Test runner here. Test runner here. Test runner. Test runner. Boom. Boom boom. Test runner. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Schedule test case. Run scheduled test cases. Test case start, test case end. Schedule test. Run test case will be schedule test case. Now we will need to implement the same functionality for silent test runner, but no, we don't need. We can just execute directly. So our schedule test case will immediately run all the stuff. Or maybe we still need to schedule it. Let's see. Let's think about it a bit later. check if we need implement scheduling of cases or running I don't know how it's spelled immediately. It seems I even wrote it right. Next time we will do the test summary. I guess we can even schedule it. YouTube. Oops, this is the different account. Go live. I'm curious if anyone noticed that there was a first stream and I was showing the plan. The plan was roughly for 6 or 8 months of work, but I called the stream implementing test library in 5 days. Maybe I even need to rename it to making or not implementing, but whatever. Test producing test summary. Producing test run summary. Way we would like to do it. I have like a couple more projects to work on, so I'm not sure that I need to stream and work on this library tomorrow. However, I'm pretty excited about the status of our implementation, because now all important parts I think got together and we have a pretty good structure. Now we just need to clean up and implement some functionality that is yet to be implemented. But we have pretty much a working library already. Schedule test case. Do we have run test case anywhere else? Oops. Run test case. Schedule test case. Now let's eval it. Let's eval it one more time just in case. And run all the tests. Boom. Wonderful. Pretty wonderful. Looks beautiful. The funny thing that they probably executed in the opposite direction. It starts from last test case added to the list. But whatever. Let's commit our very important change. I thought it would be much harder to implement this functionality, but it turned out to be like pretty manageable. Okay, this one we are adding get test runner. This one we are removing. This one this is actually quite important change that I somehow missed previously, because it ensures that all other nested things will use the same test runner as the test case. So all the asserts will use the same test runner, and that means we will get the report in the same variable, and we will have the shared state between asserts and test cases. And without this parameterize, it would not be the case, which is actually a mistake, I guess. Maybe I even need to parameterize test runner here as well. Schedule test cases. Test runner. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. Do I need it or not? I guess it won't hurt. Parameterize. It should not be used anywhere inside, so it's not necessary. It's not necessary. If we need it, this is probably a mistake. I think we will cover it with tests. Okay, tr test runner. Run scheduled tests. Okay. Update execution semantics of the library. now test cases are scheduled instead of running immediately. Grammar immediately, yeah. Executed only after leaving most enclosing entity test case or test suite. Oh. Where is my cursor? Boom. Huge important change. And let's I would like to continue working right now on a lot more functionality on refactoring and all that things, but I guess it's better to postpone the work. First of all, to get all the concepts and ideas settled in my mind, so I can take a fresh look next time I come here. Second reason is to get some rest and be more focused after that. The third one, to keep the curiosity and the desire to work on this project by restricting myself from working on it right now and overworking because of it. So I will leave it as it is and will get my thoughts settled and will come back to it tomorrow or maybe later this week. In the meantime, I actually read a lot of stuff. For example, comparison of common Lisp libraries for testing. Yesterday I had a call with one of developers who do common Lisp on a daily basis and write a lot of code in it. And he was sharing his workflows and ideas about testing libraries in common Lisp. Also, I look up different documentation. For example, today I found out the tab the test anything protocol, which is a format of test results, I would say, which is hugely widespread. So I guess having tab and JUnit as report options will make library easily integrated in various scenarios like continuous integration services, TeamCity, Circle CIs, whatever, Jenkins. What else? They like I went through the all Clojure libraries for testing through the ecosystem, and first of all found matcher combinators, which I would like to look into. I guess it's pretty powerful tool for kind of pattern matching of test results. And also I found very simple but still a very interesting EF test library, which is a customizable test runner and few like helper functions, which also looks great to take inspiration from. And of course there's a couch library I'm aware of for quite a long time already, but it is so huge that I never read all the documentation for it. but it still came up again on my radar, and probably I would like to take a look at it again and read some docs. And after that, after I go through all those documents, I will come back with new ideas that we want to implement in our testing library, because we already have quite a good testing library, at least for now. And I hope they won't require any changes to our testing library, but all the functionality I would find interesting in all those Clojure and Common Lisp and maybe other ecosystems, all that functionality will be possible to implement through the custom test runners. And the ecosystem, like the hierarchy, the entities required for it, will stay the same. So test suite, test cases, and asserts will still stay the same. We will need to change only test runners. This is my goal, and a huge improvement for testing workflow, the idea I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, where we can run tests, have a few failing test cases, and make IDE to restart the tests every time we do any evaluation, which I think is a huge improvement in user experience. While it's just one key press away, you can say, but you are not, you don't want to have to be one key press away or one key sequence away from this functionality. You want it to be automatic, for sure. I'm sure that if you need to run additional combination of keys to rerun your tests, you won't do it as often as automatic rerun. Definitely you will be like lazy enough not to press just 3 more keys to rerun the tests every time. So my bet is that it will be a huge user experience improvement for test-driven development and other development workflows, which include tests. Okay, let's make a small summary for today. Except this huge idea that I came up before the stream, we decided, not we, actually I decided, looking at Common Lisp ecosystem actually, that instead of running test cases immediately, we will collect them into the list and schedule them for run later. And we actually implemented this functionality. Now we are scheduling test cases and run them on a separate step, which gives us huge flexibility of the way we run those test cases. We can run them in parallel, in random order, or skip or do whatever with them we want. I stopped a bit to think about the simple ideas that I wanted to implement today but didn't implement. So let's check out if we have shuffle function in scheme. Oh, we have a sort function, I guess. Sort function. Yes, we have a sort function. And instead of comparing items, we can just return random value to it, and it will be the same as shuffle. What I want to just run tests in random order. That's it. That's basically the idea I wanted to implement at the beginning of the stream, and that's what the title of the stream probably says. It should be scheduling and shuffling test runs. It should be scheduling and shuffling test cases. The solution, the simple solution, scheduling test runs. That's it. I don't need to shuffle them anymore. That's smart. That's smart. Okay. Anyway, the implementation of this functionality is very straightforward. We take this method, and instead of going for each on this value, we add intermediate step which says sort the list with a function, and here we just return random boolean. That's it. That's the whole implementation of test shuffling. Of course, we can be a bit more smart and shuffle only inside the particular test pass, and for this we have information about test pass, and our comparator can rely on this information to sort the tests and keep them together in a span of a test pass, but shuffle them inside the test pass, for example. Or we can use a stable sort and shuffle test runs, I mean test suites, but keep the test cases in the same order. So whatever we want, we can do just here in one or a few lines and decide the way we execute our test cases, which is huge, of course. Okay, we did the recap. We discussed the shuffling of the test that we not implemented, but which can be implemented in the line, in one line I showed in pseudo scheme code. And on this great note, I would like to finish the stream. I'm very glad that you joined or watch it later, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in a bit. Bye.